Next on ABC7's Good Morning El Paso weekend, more details emerging about the man who tragically lost his life during what should have been a routine dip into the pool.
And then it's been nearly 2 years since the horrific riots in Charlottesville shook the nation to its core. We now know the fate of the white supremacist who was responsible for the worst of the incident's bloodshed.
Also, find out which presidential candidates are on their way to the borderland as more attention is being turned to reports of inhumane conditions at local Border Patrol authorities and Storm Track weather.
Well, right now we're taking a look at temperatures all across the region. 78 El Paso with 79 Las Cruces. A hot day in store for today. We'll take a walk across your neighborhood, let you know how things are coming up.
This is all the news you need to start your Saturday.
ABC7's Good Morning El Paso weekend starts right now.
Live, where news comes first, from the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso weekend.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Michael Gordon.
And I'm Shelby Montgomery.
Happening today, presidential candidate Julian Castro will be visiting the Border Patrol facility in Clint, where migrant children are staying. The facility has been reported to have inadequate conditions. Castro is expected to be here around 11:30. He'll be joined by Representative Mary Gonzalez for a series of events highlighting the ongoing humanitarian crisis at the border. Former Congressman Beto O'Rourke will visit the facility on Sunday, and the Hispanic Caucus will visit on Monday with Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
The acting director of Citizenship and Immigration Services wants Border Patrol agents to become more involved in interviewing asylum seekers. ABC7 was the only Borderland TV station to talk to Ken Cuccinelli during his visit to El Paso on Friday. Migrants can legally request asylum at a port of entry like an international bridge or at the border even if they cross illegally. If they say they fear going home, they are turned over to the agency known as Citizenship and Immigration Services for a credible fear interview. Cuccinelli said his agency is now training Border Patrol to help with those interviews.
In the numbers that it's been employed up to this point is in a pilot level. The initial indications are positive. There's the question of simple resources. Border Patrol is pulling people from other parts of the country to help them manage.
The Washington Post is reporting that the Department of Homeland Security is projecting a 25% drop in border crossings in June, pointing to efforts by both the U.S. and Mexico to deter migration.
El Paso police say the man who suffered an electrical shock in a pool has now died from his injuries. 50-year-old Roy Charles Stoltz was electrocuted in the swimming pool at the Hallmark Apartments. Police said several other residents were shocked as well. Police say Stoltz died at a nearby hospital. The incident is still being investigated.
One of 4 suspects arrested in connection with the man found dead inside a burned car 3 years ago has been allowed to post bond while she awaits sentencing. From the New Mexico Mobile Newsroom. D'Amica Childs agreed to a plea deal last July in the murder of Johnny Ramirez. She will spend a minimum of 15 years in prison, but no more than 22. On Friday, Judge Douglas Strigger set a $10,000 bond that will allow Childs to remain free until her sentencing date is set. Emotions were running high in the courthouse.
You know, this situation is horrible, and I feel for the family. I pray for their family every night. You know, they didn't deserve to go through that kind of pain, you know.
You can go and kill somebody and you can get away with it. What kind of justice is that? What if she runs?
Childs only spoke once during the hearing, thanking the judge for allowing her to attend her sister's funeral. We're going to turn to Storm Track weather now with Storm Tracker meteorologist. It's going to be a hot weekend, triple digits for both days. What do you think, Michael? You ready for it?
I think it's time to re-up on sunblock. There's the spray type is what I like. I think that
Just easier, right?
Easier. Oh, yes.
Hey, Iris, good morning.
Good morning. I think Michael said he was going to get that season pass for Wet and Wild, so I know you're working on that. With these temperatures right now, overall, it's nice to head on outside. Our temperatures are sitting in the 80s if you're over on the east side of town. Montwood High School at 83, 79 over in the Lower Valley at our Mattress Firm location with 77 near Camino Real Middle School. Your breakfast forecast shows 80-degree temperatures by 9 o'clock, upper 80s, and then we're going to quickly heat up to the lower 90s by 11 o'clock. That's because we are expecting a triple-digit afternoon. It's going to be hot and dry for this afternoon. We'll have an hour-by-hour look at your spray park, plus rain chances are back in the forecast for next week. We'll talk more about that with your 7-day raincast coming up in just a few minutes. Michael?
Russia's President Vladimir Putin took the time to stress that his country has, quote, no aggressive intention toward the West. That comment came in his presser in Osaka Saturday after the G20 closing session. Putin also commented on his meeting with President Trump, saying it was a good one. He added that for his own country, the future of Ukraine was one of the most important issues raised in the meeting he had with Donald Trump. After months of court proceedings, and the final sentencing was held on Friday for the man who plowed his car into a crowd of people.
It was during that chaotic and tragic weekend of protests and violence in Charlottesville, Virginia, 2 years ago. ABC's Will Reeve has more with the details.
Avowed white supremacist sentenced to life in prison for hate crimes. In August 2017, Charlottesville, Virginia was consumed by chaos. White nationalists, neo-Nazis, and other groups marching against the removal of a Confederate statue, facing off with counter-protesters. At the height of the tension, James Alex Fields plowed his car through a crowd of demonstrators, killing 32-year-old paralegal and activist Heather Heyer.
Today's sentence makes clear that the Department of Justice will use the full resources of the federal government to prosecute hate-inspired violence wherever it occurs.
Fields pleaded guilty to 29 federal hate crimes in March. In a sentencing memo submitted to the court ahead of today's decision, his lawyers argued the defendant should not spend his entire life in prison because of his age, a traumatic childhood, and a history of mental illness. But a federal judge at the U.S. District Court in Charlottesville sentenced the 22-year-old to the maximum penalty.
Mr. Fields deserved to spend the rest of his life in federal prison. That is an acceptable and appropriate outcome in this case.
The indictment says while violence erupted across Charlottesville, Fields, who had traveled from Ohio, drove around the city until he found a group of racially and ethnically diverse people chanting and carrying signs promoting equality. He then accelerated and drove directly into the crowd, killing Heyer and injuring others.
You don't get to knock my child down and silence that voice without 500 more raising up.
Fields was also convicted of murder at the state level, and prosecutors in that case recommended life in prison as well. Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
Prosecutors shed further light on Fields in his life, saying he had a history of racist and anti-Semitic behavior, had shown no remorse for his crimes, and had even kept a framed picture of Nazi dictator Adolf Hitler by his bedside table.
A police officer was wounded during a shooting in southwest Houston. The shooting occurred when an officer attempted to make a traffic stop, but the driver led police units on a short chase. When officers finally caught up to the driver, he exited the vehicle with a revolver in hand and began shooting towards Officer Jasmine Sell. She was shot twice in her right arm. Despite being struck in her arm, Sell was able to return fire along with 2 other officers, killing the suspect. Sell, who has been with the Houston Police Department for 2.5 years, was released from the hospital hours after being treated. Chief Acevedo says the shooting was caught on the officer's body camera and that he's proud of how the officers handled the situation.
It's big. It cost nearly $500 million, and it's on its way to the Arctic.
Get a good look at the massive floating power station that is set to be the northernmost operating nuclear power plant in the world.
Also, immigration officials in Arizona are looking forward to a brand new $15 million processing facility in Yuma. Find out what that site will be specifically used for.
It is 8:10 right now. Let's take a live look at your traffic cams this morning. We've got I-10 and Brown here, clear sailing all the way through, eastbound and westbound near the downtown area. It's looking good so far. Clear skies. If anything changes, we're going to let you know. And then moving to storm track weather, Iris.
Well, for today, I'll break down your afternoon with your Spray Park forecast. Plus, let's fast forward to the 4th of July. What's in store for that Thursday? I'll have that forecast coming up.
You're watching ABC 7.
Where news comes first. Morning, a very happy ending to a very scary situation. 2 El Paso boys are safe and back with their mother after a man was accused of kidnapping them. Police say 26-year-old Justin Carrillo allegedly abducted the children, 8-year-old Leonardo Ortega and 2-year-old Matias Carrillo. Police say Carrillo is the mother's ex-boyfriend and the 2-year-old is his biological son. Police say the boys were found in Juarez and are now back in the U.S. again with their mother.
A 3-year-old girl remains in serious condition after nearly drowning, according to an El Paso fire dispatch supervisor. That supervisor told ABC 7 the call came in from the Radisson Hotel near the airport just after 3 p.m. That was on Saturday. Our crews arrived on the scene within the hour. There were several officers on the scene. Police say the little girl was transported to University Medical Center. We're keeping a close eye on the story to let you know if there's any updates on the girl's health.
El Paso County Sheriff's deputies with the Fugitive Apprehension Unit got a 2-for-1 of sorts while searching for a woman who's accused of tampering with evidence in a murder case. Deputies were searching for Tina McKenzie at a home on the 3600 block of Yanagisaco in East El Paso County. While there, deputies made contact with the homeowner, Denwood Barrow. Barrow told the deputies McKenzie wasn't there, but did allow them inside to search. Deputies found McKenzie hiding in a bedroom. She was booked into the El Paso County Jail on an outstanding warrant for tampering or fabricating physical evidence with intent to impair in connection with the 2016 murder investigation. Barrow was booked for hindering in the apprehension or prosecution of a felon and for 4 traffic warrants. Now we're going to switch gears and take you to a live look outside of the borderland with the ABC7 mountain camera. Just a beautiful shot overlooking the entire city there. Can't see very many clouds. It is a clear day. It is going to be a hot day, triple digits in the forecast. Storm Tracker Iris Lopez is standing by with a preview of your first forecast. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, well, you know what? June is the hottest month of the year, and July is second place, and we're just a few days away from July, which should average around 94-degree temperatures. But for today, you're definitely going to feel the heat with 90-degree temperatures in the forecast by 11 o'clock. So it's not even going to be your lunchtime hour, and we're already going to be in those lower 90s. Mostly sunny skies expected. For today, we're looking at a high of 100. So this does put us a few degrees above average, but nowhere near that record of 114 that was broken back in 1994. So, hey, we will take a 100 over 114 any day. Coming up, I'll let you know when the best time to walk your pets or do any outdoor activities. Plus, we'll talk about your 7-day rain and windcast. That's coming up in a few minutes. Michael?
Thank you, Iris. Happening today, former Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke will stop by the Border Patrol facility in Clint. Yesterday, he held a rally at a detention facility in Houston.
From the perspective of your kids and your grandkids and the generations that will follow us, who will be reading in their history books about this moment in 2019. It's the same way when we were kids, we were reading in our history books about how this country in 1939 rejected a ship of more than 900 Jewish refugees trying to escape the Third Reich and the Holocaust, and this country sent them back.
O'Rourke will be in Clint at 10. Yesterday, presidential candidate Julian Castro visited. On Monday, Congressional Hispanic Caucus and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez will be in Clint for their own visit.
This Sunday on ABC7 Extra, the controversial migrant protection protocols, more commonly known as the Remain in Mexico policy, will be discussed. Journalist Bob Moore and immigration attorney Daniel Cadillo weigh in on the dangers immigrants face. Don't miss ABC7 Extra with host Saul Saenz tonight at 10:35 after ABC7 at 10. A missing 73-year-old hiker was rescued after spending 7 days alone in the California wilderness. Eugene Joe got separated from his hiking group in the San Gabriel Mountains of the Angeles National Forest on June 22nd. Their search and rescue team found him Saturday morning a few miles from the trail of the original hike. The team said he had not eaten in at least 5 days and got water from a creek. The LA County Sheriff's Department said he had no serious injuries, but he was airlifted to a local hospital to be checked out. About 75 people spread out and 11 teams took part in the search. Now to a historic encounter just hours ago at the DMZ border between North Korea and South Korea. President Trump shaking hands with the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, who accepted a last-minute invitation from Trump extended over Twitter. Chief White House correspondent John Carl has more.
At first, the meeting seemed well choreographed. President Trump walking from the South Korean side, Kim Jong-un from the north. "Good to see you again," Kim said. "Never thought I'd see you here." The handshake across the border. Then the step into North Korea, a first for an American president. And it happened just 32 hours after Trump tweeted the invitation to meet at the border. As they walked back to the South Korean side,
it's a great day for the world, and it's an honor for me to be here.
Another rarity, Kim Jong-un speaking to American reporters. President Trump has just walked across the demarcation line, he said. That made him the first U.S. president to visit our country.
Tremendous positivity. Really great things are happening, and in a lot of places. But we met and we liked each other from day one, and that was very important.
As they walked toward the so-called House of Freedom,
where are they going?
Chaos. Security guards at first blocked the U.S. press. And then a scramble to get the American reporters inside. That's the new White House press secretary, Stephanie Grisham, elbowing and shoving a North Korean security guard. More chaos inside the meeting, and words of diplomacy.
It's just an honor to be with you, and it was an honor that you asked me to step over that line, and I was proud to step over the line.
The two leaders then met behind closed doors for about 40 minutes, followed by another chaotic scene as Trump walked Kim back over to North Korea.
Coming up after the break, we have Miss El Paso and Miss El Paso Teen USA here for a live interview just hours after they got their crowns.
She says it's her famous catchphrase, but the Blast reports Cardi B's trademark request for the phrase "oh crrr" has been denied. The rapper applied for a trademark for the phrase back in March. She was going to use it on paper merchandise such as posters and cups. It was also expected to be used on a clothing line. According to court papers obtained by the Blast, U.S. Patent and Trademark officials determined the phrase was a, quote, widely used, commonplace expression, end quote. This after the office learned the Kardashians, as well as Cardi B's fans, have been using the phrase for years. According to People magazine, the phrase was first used by a contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race.
I liked it. He did a really good job.
Do it again, Michael.
Well, well, I'll tell you what. If the courts have beef with Cardi now, they're going to have beef with her forever.
That's an early Cardi B thing. If you're a fan, you would know.
We're teaching Michael too much Cardi B stuff.
The Good Morning El Paso Weekend team is now introducing something new to our Sunday morning shows. ABC 7's Iris Lopez is standing by to tell you a little bit more about our Sunday Fun Day Moment segment. Hey, Iris.
That's right. Hey there, Shelby and Michael, and a good morning to you all. Now, we here at the Good Morning El Paso Weekend team, we know that it might be a little tough to wake up and get out of bed Sunday mornings, but of course that's what we're here for. We're going to try and make you laugh, smile, or even motivate you every Sunday morning with our hashtag Sunday Fun Day Moment. If you think you have a video or even a picture that can put a smile on our viewers' faces, we'll send them our way, just like Luis Guzman did with this video I'm about to show you. Take a look. Now, Dad couldn't quite find his princess to give her Fruit Loop snacks, and then he heard a noise coming from the cabinets, and lo and behold, Princess Emma, look, she was just trying to get away for some alone time. Dad, can't a girl just get some alone time? There you go, we're gonna show it to you one more time. Looking for the Fruit Loops, gonna give them to Princess Emma, and there she is, watching some videos on the phone. Closes the door because she just wants some alone time. If you have a cute video like that, go ahead and send them our way. You can share your moments by going to kvia.com, clicking on the share tab, or just tagging us on social media with the hashtag KVIA Sunday Fun Day Moments. And remember, it doesn't just have to be kiddos. We want moments of all ages, and even pets are allowed. We've already gotten a few videos, so I am excited to continue with this Sunday Fun Day Moment.
That was a good one. That was really cute.
All right. Well, we have one more look at your top stories.
And your 7-day forecast, and we come back.